Carriage, scene 1, take 4. Hello, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Nonjabulo Mtanyana.
Hi, Nonjabulo. Have you ever had a friend or a family member with a skin disease called albinism?
No, I only had schoolmates with a skin disease called albinism.
With your schoolmates, when did you start noticing that they're different?
Well, I didn't think they were different, as in like they have a skin disease. I thought they had like maybe their race different, whites and colors, and not like have a skin disorder or anything like that.
Okay. So, when did you learn or know about a skin disease called albinism?
Maybe when I was 12, 11, 12, yeah. 11, 12
In
years
school?
old. Yes, at school.
Okay. Now that you're older, do you have a friend or a family member with a skin disease called albinism?
Yes, I have a friend with a skin disease.
Pause. Did I pause it? No, pause. Brother, you are disturbing. Carriage, scene 1, take 7. Now that you're older, do you have a friend or perhaps a family member who has albinism?
Yes, I do. Her name is Nompumelelo Chauke.
And how was your first encounter with Nompumelelo?
It was a bit awkward because we met on Facebook, but she's very warm and friendly. So she tried to hide that awkwardness that was there.
With your conversations that you had with Nompumelelo, did she ever feel offish when you spoke about her skin problem?
Well, I was afraid of speaking about it, so I never really went there the first time we met. But when time went on, she was the one who kept raising it. Like, I have a problem with people who don't. I have a problem with people who look at me. I have a problem with people who do this and this and that. And then that's when we got in, and she was very educating about her disease. Is it a disease or skin disorder?
With your experience with Nompumelelo being a friend, how do you explain what bad encounter did you have with her?
The first time we met, long story short, we were in my house eating, watching TV, and she was texting on a tab, and then she brought the phone too close to the face, and then I was like, "Why are you sleeping on?" Jokingly so. "Why are you sleeping on the tablet?" And then she was like, "No, I don't have my glasses." And then she laughed. She first laughed at me first, like, "No, wait, nah, I don't have my glasses with me, so I can't see. I have to bring it close to my face." Like,
Okay. What are Nompumelo's personality traits?
She's kind. She's warm, not too friendly, but she's welcoming. If you want to be friends, she's open.
If you had a kid, a baby, or if you had a boyfriend with a skin disease being albinism, how would you make sure they don't feel different around you?
Well, with the baby, I think I would be honest, straight up, and tell them that they have a skin disorder, because it's going to be difficult for them to hear it from other people if they're not taught about it in the house. This is why you are like this. This is why you're different. They should know, so that when people start mocking or making fun of them, they know what's going on. They know what they're liking and what. And if I have a boyfriend, well, I'd try and not make them feel, I don't know how, but maybe not remind them, because I think maybe they have accepted by now that they have albinism. It's not going to change. So I just maybe remind them constantly that, hey, when you have albinism, no.
All right. Thank you so much, Nonjabulo, for coming here today. Have a good day.
Bye. Courage, scene 2, take 3. Hi, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Nonhlanhla Dlamini.
Nonhlanhla, have you ever had a friend or a family member with a skin disease called albinism?
Well, I had a friend, yes, actually, when I was younger, and her name was Penny.
Oh, when did you notice that they're different?
I won't really say that I noticed, because I was really young, so she was just a friend, but I could tell that our skin was different, but I didn't pay much attention to it.
So nothing changed when you started noticing that she was different?
Besides the fact that she was the one that made us feel like she was different, nothing changed when it came to me, besides the fact that I felt like she was unwelcoming. Yeah.
That's how she made you notice, like that's how she made you feel that she's different?
Yes, she was unwelcoming.
Okay. Have you ever had an encounter, good or bad, with a person with albinism currently?
Right now, no, but I can remember with Upenny, she made sure that she was isolating herself from us when we were playing. You could tell that she had something that was bothering her, and it was skin. And in terms of a bad encounter, I could say with her eyes, because I didn't understand that there was a disease called albinism. I sort of made fun of her eyes. They were blue and they weren't still. They were moving a lot. So I made fun of her eyes until someone told me that she has an eye problem.
So there ever be a change of behavior when they noticed that they are different?
I think Penny noticed when she was young that she was actually different from other kids, because it explains the isolation when we were children and playing, because no one really made fun of her skin, and then she was the one that isolated herself from everyone else. Yeah.
Okay. Any recent encounter with a person with albinism?
I have a friend, and his name is Simba Gozo. Yes. He has accepted that he is a person and he has a skin disease called albinism, and it doesn't define him at all.
So would you describe his personality traits?
Yes, he is very friendly, he's educational and informed, he's motivational, he's bubbly. Yes, he's very bubbly. Yeah.
Okay. So how did your friendship begin?
Well, we were at some modeling casting when we met, and he just came up to me and started a conversation. Then every time, like, because this was a first time in years when I stood next to a person with albinism and spoke to one, it sort of felt weird because I was scared of saying anything that could hurt him. So I kept on moving a lot and going to speak with other people, but he kept coming back and speaking to me until, like, I was like, this guy, what's wrong with this guy? I don't understand what's going on. But he was really friendly, which made me feel comfortable with him being there and him being who he is. Yeah.
Okay, so if you would ever have a boyfriend or a child with albinism, what would you do to make them feel normal, like to not make them feel different, like to make them not feel different?
I think children find out, or or yeah, find out at an early age that they're different just by looking at their skin and looking at the other family members' skin. And they can tell that they're different, they're lighter, their hair is blonde. So if I had a child with albinism, when they start asking questions like, Mom, why am I different from other children? Then I would tell them that you have a skin disease called albinism. And if anyone comes to you and asks you why you're like this, you tell them that you have a skin disease called albinism. Therefore, you can't be in the light for too long. You have to wear glasses so that you may see properly, and your hair is like that because of the skin disease. Yeah, and if I had a boyfriend, I'd be sure to make sure that they know that the skin disease doesn't define the person that they are, and to make sure that they don't feel different. I treat them like a normal person because they're people at the end of the day. The only thing that separates us from them is like the skin disease. They not the pigment on their skin. We are darker and they are lighter, but they're still people. So yeah. Courage, scene 3, take 4. Hello, who am I speaking to?
Rita, a professional nurse.
Hi, Rita. Being a professional nurse, how do you define albinism?
It's a condition whereby there is a lack of melanin, which is a skin coloring agent.
As a result, have you ever had patients who had albinism?
No.
All right. If you do have a patient that has albinism, how would you treat them?
I will treat them as the same as the other patients that are not albinisms. For e.g., for an example, whatever I do to the other patients, loving them, caring for them, supporting them will be the same. But because of their skin color that is not the same as the others, those one I will treat them as a special.
All right, Mrs. Rita. We would also love to know if you have a child or perhaps a family member or a friend that has the skin disease albinism.
No, at the moment, no one has this condition.
All right. So let's say you had a child that had the skin disease. How would you make sure that you make them feel welcomed, that they are the same as you?
I would love them. I would encourage them. And then I'll also support them spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And then I'll also give them health education on how to take care of their skin condition.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Rita. Please do have a nice day. Thank you. Courage Scene 3, Take 4. Hello, may you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Tabang.
Hi, Tabang. Have you ever had an experience with a person with albinism?
Yes. People with albinism, I think that they people with very sensitive skin, but they're also human, and I think they do not differ from people with normal skin. We should just treat them as normal people, because I think people are neglecting people with albinism because of their skin color, but then we're all the same.
All right. So, what do you think about these traditional healers that actually use their bones and their skin that abduct people with albinism? So, for traditional use, what do you think about those people?
I think those people, what they're doing, it's not a good thing to do, because people with albinism, I think, sure, that was a question. I'm sorry.
Scene 3, Take 5. Tabang, what do you think about the traditional healers that abduct people with albinism and use their body parts for muti?
I feel disgusted, because I feel that their families are being mistreated, because people with albinism go missing and they're never being found again, or it's either they're being found with missing body parts, and that's really unfair, because people with albinism, they also have got a right to live as much as us people with normal skin. And this thing of their, I think the traditional healers, they're being possessed by using people with albinism to use their body parts for muti and stuff, Yeah, so I think they also deserve to be treated equally, as much as we're being treated equally, and yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your opinion, Mr. Tabang. We'd also love to know if you are perhaps a father to a person who has albinism, or you have a family member who has albinism, or you have friends who have albinism. Yes or no?
There are people whom I know that do have albinism, but I wouldn't say that they are close people. There are people whom I am close to.
All right.
Yes.
So how did your friendship with these people start?
I wouldn't say we've got a friendship, but they are just regular people whom I'm used to seeing almost every day.
All right.
Yes.
So what is the reason that keeps you, that gives you the feeling that you guys are equal as people? Where did you learn about albinism being just a skin disease than something that sets you apart as humans?
Can you repeat the question again, please?
The question is,
Yes.
where did you learn about albinism, and
Okay.
when did you see that you and people with albinism are actually the same? What sets you apart is just skin.
Okay, I've learned about albinism at school, and I was told that people with albinism, the only difference between us and them is only the skin color. But then we're all the same, we breathe the same air, like all of the things we do, they also do. But then people with albinism, I feel that they're being mistreated because of their skin color.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tabang, for the interview. Have Hi, my name is Maseti, and I want to speak about albinism. I have a daughter that is 6 years old, and she has a skin condition called albinism. Albinism is a condition whereby you lack melanin from your skin to the color of your eyes and to the color of your hair, and you basically have like an eye problem. But in the societies that we used to live in, you used to get stereotyped. You used to get discriminated against because of the color of your skin. My daughter is 6 years old this year, and often when the year started and it was her first year at school, she came back crying almost every Monday and every Friday when she came back from school, because there was a time, there was the crucial part of her life where she was starting a new chapter, but she ended up resenting that chapter of her life. Children didn't understand what it means to have albinism. They didn't understand what it means to be human. They didn't understand they were just children. But what was the school doing? The school wasn't teaching the children about albinism. They weren't teaching the children that albinism is just a skin condition, and it has nothing to do with your humanity, with your dignity, with your respect. It doesn't mean that you should be discriminated against. It doesn't mean that you need to be stereotyped. Albinism, according to my daughter now, is far different from what it was then. Albinism to my daughter now is her uniqueness. It is her identity. It doesn't define her, but it makes her who she is. Albinism to my daughter today, because of the knowledge that I made sure that I instilled in her and the assurance that she looks just like me. She is great. She is powerful. She is beautiful. Albinism to her today is just a skin condition. She is more informed and educated about albinism. She can now go to all these other children that start laughing when she appears and tells them that no, I am no different from you. My skin is just lighter. My hair is just blonde. And my eyes aren't still big, and I need glasses.